He's actually moving like he's doing things. It's great. It's so good. Hello Flight Simulator fans, welcome back to another Practically Geek video. Today we're going to be checking out another FREEWARE airport, and this is going to be from the UK this time, so we're back in my home country for a, this time as I say, a FREEWARE review rather than a payware. Something a bit different. You'll notice that the video started a bit differently today. I've decided to take away the approach kind of a landing situation. There's no real reason for me to do that. Certainly when I've been like kind of looking through the videos that I've been working on, it just doesn't really add anything to it. You are able to see the surrounding areas and the approach path. Obviously that's sometimes a good thing, but not really when I'm going into the default scenery. So landing into the default scenery doesn't really work. I might add it into the actual FREEWARE file itself, so the FREEWARE third-party airport, so maybe the second part of the video, but at the minute I don't think that landing into the airport is really giving these videos anything more. I think I cover everything while using the drone camera, which I'm already in now. I do like this scene as it stands. You can see my Diamond DA40 on stand 3, or parking grass space 3. A couple of ground staff here as well, getting ready to do the pushback. But as always, we won't be doing that. We'll be going into the drone camera, or sorry, we are in the drone camera. We'll be flying around the default scenery to take a look at what the scenery is like beforehand, to give you a good idea of what the developer has done, the creator of the FREEWARE scenery has done to improve things. And in this one, I can already say before heading into all that, it's a good one. The creator is called Flying Theston, I think that's how you pronounce the name, and he does a lot of great YouTube videos as it is, explaining on how to actually create your own airports and how to add in Google satellite imagery. So definitely check his YouTube video out, Flying Theston. I'm going to link that in the description below. But let's have a look around this airport, which I haven't actually told you where we are. We're in Wellesbourne we're in Wellesbourne Mountford Airfield, which is just south of Birmingham, southeast-ish, and it's a general aviation park. There is something that is in this airfield which I'm particularly keen to show off in Flying Theston's version, because it's something that I used to go and see as a young boy at Blackpool Airport, which they don't have it anymore. If you are an aviation enthusiast, you might know what I mean already, but I'll show you a bit later when we go into the other scenery. For now, you can see that the actual airfield itself is quite large for a general aviation field. There's a lot of disused tarmac. There's this section here which actually shows on the GPS, or the Garmin sort of computer, the GPS computer in some planes. This actually shows up as tarmac on the airfield, this kind of long car park you can see, and you can actually see the flat images, the satellite imagery of the cars lined up there. Now, I'm not too sure what these buildings are, factories I would presume, but the field itself is quite big. The airport layout, the runway layout is actually, it's quite a thin runway, but in terms of the tarmac area, it's quite big. It's a good size runway. Again, if I would have done my homework, I would have been able to tell you how big that is. You also notice that I've slowed the drone camera down. I think that I've been going a bit too fast in the other videos. That being said, if I have to cover a bit more area, it's definitely worth speeding it up. As you can see, there's these like cropped areas here in the grass which have these weird patterns in, which is quite odd to see in a default scenery. But the surrounding areas, typical typical England really. British, it's hills and grass and trees. So the approach is I mean, I've done an approach once or twice here. Is spectacular over the forested area over there, and as I say, it is southeast of Birmingham, so if you are doing a flight from the north, you might even fly over Birmingham city centre. And with that said, I'm pretty sure the same creator does Birmingham scenery as well, so you might want to grab that as well. As for the airfield itself, the buildings are super auto-gen, as you can imagine. These won't look anything like what Flying Theston's done. I've seen from the pictures that it looks really spot on from to the real airfield rather. Get me teeth in. You can see in the satellite imagery there's a couple of buildings being shown through, which and the shadows as well, which obviously don't match up with the actual buildings used here. Not too sure what that is. It seems a bit odd to have a tower block there, but I could be wrong. Just off in this distance here, this white kind of area, that's actually a caravan site. I've read that he will be upgrading that park to have some kind of, you know, trucks or vehicles that can simulate, you know, more of a 3D modeled area of a caravan site. And as you can see, there's flat 2D imagery of the planes. A Cessna there that looks like a 152. You can see that they're kind of painted into the scenery, but you will see that the 3D grass is kind of lost here. And as I said, I've seen that before in other fields I've seen, airfields I've been to, airports, where it looks like the grass has kind of been disfigured for when the planes are sitting there, just, you know, dormant, and obviously the grass won't grow with that. With the plane being over it, it's not getting its sunshine or its rain or anything, so it's drying out and it's not growing. Radar beacon here, and then obviously the rest is I mean, that looks like it might have been a runway. Now I know this was an RAF base. Obviously at the time of the World War it would have been used. So these could have definitely been runways being in use for obviously the amount of planes that would have been, the fighter jets would have been going out, and this would have been a lot busier obviously as an RAF base. As it stands today, there's a general aviation field. It does a lot of training flights. It does carry passengers as well, so I would imagine sort of private Cessna flights and stuff like that. But yeah, it's just a basic auto gen. The tarmac areas and the taxiways and this area here all lines up to the real world layout, so that's quite good, you know. So I've seen default airports where the tarmac and the taxiways are actually, they don't look anything like the real thing. So I think for now we should head into Flying Theston's version of this airfield and have a look and see what he's done with it, and I'll show you what I was talking about before about a particular thing from Blackpool Airport. I'll see you guys in just a second. Let's have a look at what the FREEWARE airport has to offer. Welcome back to Wellesbourne Mountford Airfield here in the UK, and I've loaded in the FREEWARE scenery from Flying Theston, and we're going to take a look at what has changed. So let's jump into the sky and take a look around. Well, we can already see there's a lot of static aircraft now present, which is amazing. It makes the airfield a lot more lively when there's static aircraft, makes it look like it's being actually used. These weird patterns in the field here look the same, there's been no changes there, but where has changed is just over here. So this weird parking lot or car park, I assume maybe it's like an overflow for the factories, if these are kind of like warehouses and factories. Anyway, he's gone in and changed the texture of the ground so those 2D cars don't show. He has actually added a load of 3D cars rather into the actual parking lots. You can still see the 2D cars there, but that's not a problem. There's some more over here with kind of this bin and container area. That's some nice detail. There's not much to go through on this end, this being sort of an industrial park. We're going to head from left to right, so let's head over to the intersecting runway. It looks like some textures have been added or spruced up a bit, and that looks amazing. There's a lovely little area over here which has been upgraded, which was, I think it was an autogen building there, but he's taken that out. Again, Flying Theston makes some really great YouTube tutorials for if you want to go and create some of your own airfields or upgrade some in the world using the SDK and the world editor. So he can show you how to take these buildings out. But this area is a bit more real now. This kind of, you know, disused land with pile of rubble there, some pallets and bins, and then the air sock, and then some vehicles parked up there. Let's go along the taxiway and check out the real sort of where things have changed. And it's along this stretch of land here with the new hangars, some static Robinson aircraft here. That's a really good touch, and they are some of the best I've seen actually. As for static aircraft, ones that don't appear inside the simulator as AI or flyable planes, they are actually really, really good, nicely textured, and there's no kind of weird like I don't know, like bumps and like scuffs along the edges of the framework, which some have in other freeware sceneries. The fuel area here, really nicely done with the wire fence and the truck, and this little hut area for the workers maybe to have some lunch in. This area over here was is a caravan site. He has added in some white, it's the Attack of the White Vanmans here, but honestly he does say that he's gonna upgrade this area. It was just to add a bit more depth to it, and it looks better than the default scenery for sure. So let's go on to this hangar. Some nice weathering and sort of distressed look of the metal. That's the heli base, as well as this unit here, which looks like maybe a small restaurant or lunch area for people who are renting or flying helicopters. Our first gate here for the first car park along this road. Would have liked to see the road get some attention with it being alongside the road, but you know, that's something that you can do easily and add it in. These cabin buildings here are just the basic, but again they've got some nice weathering, some nice dirt marks along the side of them. We've got these cool looking World War era hangars, and especially this curved one here. It was a World War II base for bombers, I believe, so keep that in mind. Maybe some of the old buildings are still in use. This area looks like a museum of some kind. I would imagine it is. I haven't been here in real life, but he's done an amazing job to make it look like an actual little museum. And we have this cockpit area as well. I think that's not a Phantom. It looks like a Gnat, but it kind of, it might not be. I could be totally wrong. I'm more into me civil airliners, but I do know me fighter jets. I don't know that one, unfortunately. This bit outer building here, that's like put in, maybe it's a toilet, a porta toilet. It's given me Manchester View and Park, the runway View and Park vibes, because that's what they have. So yeah, I love this little kind of enclosed area for this van as well. That's a really good detail. And then all these offices areas are all like kind of port, like cabins all connected. That's quite cool. We're getting along down here now to the Touchdown Cafe, which is real, and I'm going to show you a Google Street View comparison right now, which I cropped out, and I think that's kind of the right angle there. And as you'll see, it looks really, really spot on. Apart from the trees here blocking out the hangar just there, obviously that's a nitpick, and that I won't even be saying that's a problem because things grow. The control tower looks spot on. Really great use of I think there must be PBR materials because we are getting reflections on the roof slates there and on the glass. We've even got this worker. I haven't seen this before because this guy is actually animated. He's actually moving like he's doing things. It's great. It's so good. The detail is spot on actually. I'm really pleased with how it looks. We've got some more hangars down here as well, and as we approach down to the far end of the taxiway, the thing from Blackpool that I mentioned in the first half of the video will come into play, so I'll show you that in just a second. This overgrown plants and bin area, that's just, and more detail in this, you know, these bins and cones, they all add up to make it look lively and like it's being used. These blue hangers, again, there's some really good textures going on there with the weather and effects. There's my Diamond DA40 there just on the right, and we've got this Take Flight Center. There is another little comparison coming up, I believe, from about here. So that looks again spot on. Everything's in the right position. More static aircraft. I would have loved to see a bit more variation in the static aircraft, but again, that's me nitpicking and something that doesn't really matter at all. Got some more hangars here. These don't look as detailed, but again, better than the default. We're getting down to the taxiway, and if you're looking just up in the distance there, if you're an aviation enthusiast, you'll know what that plane is, and this is where the taxiway joins the runway. Got another static aircraft there. Looks a bit lonesome, but more custom buildings here. I love the detail that Flying Theston's put into the scenery. It's really great. We've got the flying school here. And then just in front, we've got a Vulcan Bomber. Now, there used to be one of these at Blackpool Airport just in front of the hangar. And every time we would go to see the Blackpool illuminations, my mum would take us to see the aircraft, knowing quite well that it put the shits up us. We were terrified. It used to just, it was never lit up, or, I mean, there was basic light underneath it, kind of, so you could see some plaques, but it used to just loom in the darkness, and we used to just pull up like this, and the car would be sitting there, and then just be this enormous, you know, Cold War bomber sitting there like this moth, and, you know, it just used to terrify, especially my brother. But there is one of these here. That's not just a random thing that he's put in. There is a taxiable Vulcan Bomber at Wellesbourne. Some more custom buildings here, as well as this lovely conservatory in this building and the flying school, which does have a basic interior, which is, again, really, really great. And then we're back onto the main runway, and guys, I really, really love this airfield, and because it's a UK one as well, I love it even more. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to check out the night lighting, and then I'll run through some weather effects for using the Weather Presets Pro. Let's take a look at Wellesbourne in the nighttime around 1 AM and see what it looks like from around this area here. So it's now 1 AM, and obviously nothing to do with the airfield itself, but I love the distance lighting in this game, just sort of the surrounding areas, and look at the way the lighting actually illuminates the sky, you know, the more urban areas. It looks so good. As for the night lighting in Wellesbourne, in Flying Theston's version, runway lighting is to be expected, pretty good. The lighting around the factory area is okay, it illuminates it. It's using those thing like the you know, the floating lights that I mentioned in a couple of my latest videos. The guys from NZA and a couple of other people have commented on my videos just to say that this is just to do with the SDK and obviously a MOBO. There's nothing they can really do about that. It is to do with lighting up obviously the area from the sky, just to make it look a bit more realistic. So obviously there's nothing we can do about that right now. But the airfield itself, I like how it's lit up. The hangar over this way and the heliport has got some really nice like floodlights. It doesn't seem to be any taxi lights. I don't think this airfield would be used especially a lot at night. If not at all. But the lighting around the base, the important areas like the fuel station and the hangar areas is pretty good. It's definitely good enough for what we've got. We've got a bit of a pop-in light there in that porter cabin there. And the area around the control tower, and the control tower itself is probably the better one I've seen lit up, and we've got the beacon light just on top of there. And this area looks really great. It is illuminated really well. Heading along a bit faster, some illumination around the flight center over there, and then there is a bit more there's a bit more lighting to do with the flying school here. The Vulcan Bomber isn't lit up. Again, I don't know if that's lit up in real life, but this area is lit up very well. The windows do have some kind of illumination in there. I've just noticed, as well as the CCTV. That's really cool. But yeah, the night lighting is good. Very pleased with the airfield as a whole. Definitely going to be keeping it in. Every airfield and every airport I've shown in my videos and the freeware reviews, I've kept in the simulation. Most of them do appear on the map as the little third-party plug icon, a plugin, obviously, but some don't. I think this one does. Let's take a look at Wellesbourne in different weather effects, some rain, etc., and wind and storms, and see what it looks like. Okay, so it's about just after 9 AM in the morning. I've put some heavy rain on with the Weather Presets Pro, and as you can see, the airport looks great. The tarmac's collecting the rain and causing reflections and puddles. We do get rain this heavy in the UK. Probably not so many storms, but we do get rain. The visibility is low, as you can see, but everything still looks really, really great. This is the Humid Storms preset, and it's a bit of drizzle, but there's obviously lovely clouds in the background there, some exposure in the clouds to see the blue sky. And again, we do get storms in the UK. Look at the clouds and the sky over there. But you can't not be impressed by the reflections and the puddles in this game as well when it hits the floor. And again, the airfield looks amazing. The addition of a proper control tower and all the custom buildings make it look absolutely amazing. It's now a nice sunny day in Wellesbourne, England. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel if you are a flight simulator fan. I've got a lot of content, flight tours and freeware, and one payware review as well. You check that out. I'm enjoying these videos, honestly. I enjoy sharing what I found over on the FREEWARE website, so I can come and show you what it looks like before and after. I'm doing a couple more from the UK. I've got one from Italy coming up soon as well, from a different creator. And yeah, as I say, this has been Wellesbourne Mountford Airfield, just south of Birmingham in the UK, and I will be back very, very soon to share more freeware airports with you. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you again soon.